Brooks Lindsay, a name synonymous with courage and duty. This is the story of his journey where love and duty intertwined in the most unexpected way. The news of Haley's pregnancy was a beautiful surprise. They named her Millie, a melody to their ears. Haley's pregnancy progressed smoothly, a beacon of hope amidst Brooks' impending deployment. With a heavy heart, Brooks packed his bags. Haley, ever strong, put on a brave face. The Red Cross had stringent rules regarding emergency leave for soldiers. Haley's pregnancy was progressing normally. The day Brooks left was the hardest day of their lives. He vowed to be with her in spirit, to cheer her on from afar. Life without Brooks was a constant struggle for Haley. Weeks turned into months. Haley's belly grew rounder, a testament to the life blossoming inside of her. But fate had other plans. After a routine checkup, Haley received an unexpected call from her doctor. Her blood pressure was dangerously high. She had developed pre-eclampsia, a serious condition. Panic surged through Haley. She needed Brooks. She immediately dialed his number. "The doctor wants to induce labor," she whispered. Hope flickered in Brooks's eyes. The news of Haley's preeclampsia hit Brooks like a punch to the gut. Thousands of miles away, he felt utterly helpless. He knew the risks associated with preeclampsia. He listened intently as Haley recounted the doctor's words. They needed to induce labor. "I'm coming home," he vowed. But the journey back to Haley seemed insurmountable. He was stationed at Fort Bliss, near El Paso. His leave depended on the Red Cross. Time was slipping away. He contacted his superiors, pleading for their understanding. The final decision rested with the Red Cross. The Red Cross. They held the key to his reunion with Haley. Brooks relayed Haley's medical reports. Silence greeted his words. The wait for their decision was agonizing. Finally, the call came. The Red Cross had granted him a 4-day leave. It wasn't much, but it was a lifeline, a chance to be with Haley, to meet his daughter. Relief washed over him. He had to get to Haley. Every second counted. The race against time had just begun. With the Red Cross's approval secured, Brooks threw himself into the logistics of getting home. Flights were booked, bags hastily packed. The flight from El Paso to Dallas was a blur. He called Haley every chance he got. In Dallas, he faced his first hurdle. His connecting flight to Jackson was delayed. Despair threatened to consume him. He explained his situation to the airline staff. They offered apologies, but no solutions. He needed a miracle. Hours crawled by. The delay stretched from minutes into what felt like an eternity. Haley's labor had begun. His phone became his lifeline. He was there, even if only in spirit. Then an announcement echoed through the terminal. His flight was finally boarding. He had a choice to make: board the flight and disconnect from Haley, or stay on the phone and risk missing his flight. It was the hardest choice he'd ever have to make. Brooks stood frozen, his hand shaking as he held the phone. The announcement of his flight echoed in his ears. Just as he was about to surrender to despair, a voice pierced through the cacophony of the airport. It was Haley's mother, Teresa. "Don't let him board that flight," she cried out. "She's asking for you, Brooks. She needs you." A surge of hope coursed through him. He wasn't alone in this. Teresa, his family, they were fighting for him. As if sensing his desperation, a woman standing near him turned around. Her eyes, filled with compassion, met his. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. Brooks explained his predicament. The woman, Tracy Dover, listened intently. "We'll find a way," she said. Tracy rallied the other passengers, explaining Brooks's situation. To his astonishment, they listened. Word spread through the gate area like wildfire. Passengers, initially annoyed by the delay, were now united in their desire to help. They understood the importance of being present for life's precious moments. Some passengers approached the gate agents, pleading for more time. Others shared their snacks, their words of encouragement. The air buzzed with a different kind of energy. It was the energy of compassion, of shared humanity. Brooks felt a surge of gratitude wash over him. Time, however, was a luxury they couldn't afford. The flight crew couldn't delay the flight indefinitely. The gate agent approached Brooks. "Sir," she said, "I'm afraid we've reached the limit of our delay. We need to board the flight now." Brooks' heart sank. He glanced at his phone, his eyes welling up with tears. He had a decision to make. The gate agent's words hung in the air. Brooks felt a wave of nausea wash over him. He couldn't bring himself to end the call. Not yet. His eyes darted back and forth, from the phone to the growing line of impatient passengers. The gate agent, sensing his distress, placed a reassuring hand on his arm. "Sir," she said, "we understand the situation, but we can't hold the flight any longer." Brooks nodded numbly. He had to let go. As Brooks reached for the end call button, murmurs rippled through the gate area. The passengers had formed a protective circle around him. A woman in the front of the line stepped forward. "Can't you do something?" she pleaded with the gate agent. "He's just trying to be there for his wife and child." The gate agent, moved by the support, hesitated. She picked up her phone and made a call. Brooks prayed for a miracle. Suddenly, a voice boomed through the gate area, cutting through the tense silence. It was the pilot, his voice echoing through the intercom. "Attention passengers," he announced. "We are holding the flight for a few more minutes. We are experiencing a minor technical difficulty." Relief washed over Brooks in waves. A technical difficulty. Of all the excuses, this seemed the most improbable. And yet, he couldn't help but feel a surge of gratitude for this unexpected reprieve. He wasn't alone. The pilot, the gate agent, the passengers, they were all on his side, united in their desire to see this story have a happy ending. Time, which had been moving at a glacial pace, seemed to grind to a complete halt. The airport, usually a place of constant motion, was now suspended in a strange, surreal stillness. Passengers sat frozen in their seats, their eyes glued to Brooks, their own journeys put on hold. Brooks, oblivious to the silent drama unfolding around him, remained glued to the phone. He listened to Haley's labored breathing, the encouraging voices of the nurses, the steady beeping of the machines. He was there, even if only through the fragile connection of the phone line. He knew he couldn't stay on the call forever. The flight wouldn't wait forever. The weight of duty, of the sacrifices he had made for his country, pressed down on him. He had a responsibility to his unit, to his fellow soldiers. He had to make a choice. Should he prioritize his personal life, his desperate desire to be present for the birth of his child? Or should he honor his commitment to the military, the oath he had sworn to uphold, even at the expense of his own happiness? Teresa watched her daughter-in-law with concern and determination. Haley was a fighter, but the pain was taking its toll. Teresa discreetly pulled out her phone and dialed Brooks's number. The hospital had strict rules against recording the birth. The doctor noticed Teresa's fidgeting and approached her with a knowing smile. Tears welled up in Teresa's eyes as she mouthed a silent thank you. Brooks, miles away, was about to witness the birth of his daughter. The sound of Haley's voice, filled with pain and determination, pierced through the noise of the airport terminal. Brooks closed his eyes, his hand tightening around the phone. He could hear the nurses' encouraging words, the steady beeping of the machines, all filtered through the grainy speaker of his phone. He felt a hand on his shoulder and opened his eyes to see Tracy Dover, her face etched with concern. He offered her a weak smile, a silent acknowledgement of her unwavering support. He couldn't speak. Not now. Not when Haley was so close to bringing their child into the world. Then he heard it. A cry. A tiny, fragile sound that echoed through the phone speaker, filling the sterile airport terminal with a wave of raw emotion. It was the sound of his daughter, Millie, taking her first breath. Time seemed to stand still. The airport, with its constant motion and cacophony of noise, faded into the background. All that mattered was that sound, that cry, a testament to the miracle of life, a symbol of hope and new beginnings. Brooks let out a sob, a mixture of relief, joy, and overwhelming love. Tears streamed down his face, unchecked, unashamed. He had missed the actual birth, the moment his daughter entered the world, but he was there, connected to Haley and Millie through the invisible threads of love and technology. A cheer erupted around him, a spontaneous outpouring of joy from the passengers who had witnessed his emotional roller coaster. Strangers, brought together by circumstance, celebrated the arrival of a life they had never met, yet felt deeply connected to. Tracy Dover, her eyes shining with tears, reached out and squeezed Brooks's arm. "Congratulations," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "She's beautiful." Brooks, overwhelmed by the kindness of these strangers, could only nod, his heart too full for words. He had been dreading this journey, this moment of isolation and despair. Instead, he had found himself embraced by a community of compassion, a circle of support he never knew he needed. The pilot announced that the technical difficulties had been resolved. The flight would be boarding shortly. Brooks had a plane to catch, a daughter to meet. Passengers stopped him, offering their congratulations. He boarded the plane, his steps lighter than they had been in days. The plane soared into the sky, leaving behind the airport and the strangers who had shared in his joy. The flight to Jackson seemed to take forever, every minute an excruciating stretch of anticipation. Brooks, replaying the grainy images of Millie's birth, fought back tears. Landing in Jackson felt surreal, a return to a changed life. He rushed through the terminal, his heart pounding. Every fiber of his being yearned to hold Haley and see his daughter. He embraced Haley gently, careful not to disturb the tiny bundle. And then he saw her, Millie. She was perfect. The 4 days of Brooks' leave flew by in a blur of feedings, diaper changes, and stolen moments of sleep. He cherished every second with Haley and Millie, knowing he would have to say goodbye once more. The joy of fatherhood was tinged with the bittersweet awareness of his duty. As he boarded the plane back to Fort Bliss, his heart ached with the familiar pain of separation. But this time, he carried with him the memory of Millie's birth and the support of his family. The experience had deepened his understanding of love and sacrifice. He was a soldier, a father, a husband, forever touched by the kindness of strangers.